check it out. I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties once again with the camera. I'll figure it out. But that ain't going to stop me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn the notifications on, because I'm Rob Odie. This is round 3, Spotlight 39, coming to you live, just like we do Monday through Thursday, man. It is the eve of Thanksgiving, so we will get into that. Here I am. I'm in Studio 39, a.k.a. the Bear Cave. And like I was saying, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Help this channel grow, help this platform grow so we can continue to get these student athletes the exposure they deserve. That's what it's all about. So, with that being said, comment during this broadcast. I'll bring it up on the screen. Show my guy some love. That's what it's about. He's a great young man, and let's tell him how great he is. So, who do we have? Let's find out. What's going on, my man? How you feeling?
Doing good. Glad to be here.
Look, man. Look, I appreciate you hanging in there. It is 9:10. This is a little late, for a student athlete interview, but we are on the eve of Thanksgiving. So I'm going to let you go ahead and formally introduce yourself first and foremost to the world. Tell us who you are, where you're from, all that good stuff. And then, with it being Thanksgiving, man, feel free to share what you're thankful for this year.
Got you. So my name's Gavin Gibson. I play for Huff High School. I'm graduating in the class of 2022. I play DB. Yeah, that's me.
Class of 22, DB, North Carolina senior. Previously committed to another program. However, we've decided to open up our recruiting process, after your season year, right? Your senior season. So we've now narrowed it down to our top two.
So, after 3 or 4 games.
Okay. Yeah. So we're down to UVA and we're down to the University of Maryland, the Terrapins, right? So we're going to get into all that. And let me change your name, man. That is a complete mess up. So with that, we are live, and I think I just fixed it. There it is. Great.
Yep.
So look, let's do this, man. Let's rewind the clock. Let's kind of take it back to the off season. Let's start there. Let's start talking about what all, you prepared for, what work you put in. What did your off season look like? Walk us through that, and then we'll lead into the season. How about that?
Okay, sounds good. So after my sophomore season, that's whenever COVID hit and everything. So not being able to camp, not being able to get in front of those college coaches, that slowed down the recruiting process. I feel like for all the class of 2022 players. So just being able to have that extra off season, because in North Carolina we didn't play our season regularly. We waited until spring. So we played our my junior year. We played it earlier this year, and then senior year later in this year. So having that extra time, just to prepare, be able to get myself right. Being able to train, get my speed right, get my technique right. Just going into these last 2 years, I feel like that, even though it was a curse, it was a blessing at the same time. And then going back into my senior year, having only a little bit of off season, I wanted to get in front of as many college coaches as I could. I went to a few different camps throughout June. That was a really heavy period for me, going to camps pretty much every weekend. Just trying to get that exposure.
So hit me with a few that we went to. You said you went to a handful of camps.
My first camp was a Florida State mega camp. I went to Vanderbilt. Yep. I went to a Virginia camp also. That was my last camp that I camped at.
Okay. So the mega camp, that was huge, man, because there was
50
plus programs represented there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean that was various levels. That wasn't just P5, right? That was, I think, all the way down,
it was everybody.
D2, D3. I mean, just there was eyes galore. So that was definitely a good camp to hit, man. And so with that, what was your experience? Let's talk about that camp specifically. What was your experience there, and how would you say you performed compared to the guys beside you?
I feel like I performed pretty well at that camp. I didn't have any catches on me. I don't believe in the one-on-ones. All the drills were good. I feel like my technique going into this camp season, everything was good. So I really wasn't worried about too many drills, just getting that one-on-one, getting that competition. I had a lock down. So yeah, that was a good camp for me.
Good deal. So that led to another camp, which led to another camp, closed it out at the UVA camp. So with all that, did you rock with the 7-on-7 team? Did you work with a personal trainer, or did you kind of just camp and then self-discipline, self-train type stuff?
So I didn't play on any 7-on-7 teams this year just because of how short the off season was. I didn't want to put my body through a whole nother type of season just to play again. So
sure.
it was really a whole bunch of position training with Chach at SCDB Group on Twitter. I've been working out with him since I was in 7th grade. He's got me right, and he got a whole bunch of connections on the next level, and has sent a whole bunch of guys to the next level.
That's huge. So you got a good support group. You got somebody that's training you up right. Which, if we think about all the hard work we put in this off season, right? We throw that into the mix. What else we got?
Mm-hmm. And then I also worked out with Will Bradley up in Greensboro to get my speed right. He dropped my 40 time. Whenever I went to him, I was running a 4.6, and he dropped that down to a 4.3. So that also helped me on the field. And
hold on. You run you said a 4.3?
Yeah, he clocked me at a 4.39 and then a 4.38 twice.
Okay, all right. Look,
and then throughout the camps, I was all mid to low 4.4.
Okay,
with some 4.5s in there.
So look, with that, man, I gotta plug my guy, Darius Minor, standout stud. He's the reason why I do everything that I do, man. Even though I had to rebrand it and change some logos and up, but nonetheless, he ran a 4.36 official at a Rivals camp.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Official. So when you run that fast, you will be seen. So with that, man, you've done all this hard work. How is that transition to the football field? What does your senior season look like? Walk us through that. I want details, man. Give me the good, give me the bad, right? But tell me what your experience was overall.
So I feel like going into the season, I was previously committed to Navy, and I feel like after I went into the season, I was playing because I didn't get all the looks that I wanted to over the offseason because I was going to a whole bunch of P5 camps, and I was going to some bigger group of 5 camps like App State and stuff like that, and then just not getting all the looks that I wanted, feeling like some of those coaches were overlooking me. I just played with a chip on my shoulder this whole season, and then we see where that got me.
Yeah. So with that, how would you say your season went overall, man? If you don't have the exact stats, that's cool, but give me a roundabout of what your season looked like statistically.
So I got 4 interceptions on the season. I had 1 pick 6 that got called back for a block in the back, but I got a punt return on the season, and I got probably like 20, 25 tackles total with a few sacks and a few tackles for loss.
So those stat lines, they'll spice up your recruiting process a little bit, right?
Yes, sir,
yeah.
For sure.
So you said you entered the season committed to Navy. Great program, right?
Yes,
but
sir.
When the season went on and your recruiting started to explode and really grow, right? You started to have other conversations. So let's kind of take it back to the beginning of your recruiting process, if you don't mind. And when did it all start for you? When did you get that first phone call or DM or, first blessing, as I like to call it, your first offer?
Sure.
When did that come?
So later in my sophomore year, after my sophomore year was over, my first offer was from Akron University.
Okay.
I believe November of 2022.
Okay. So we got our first offer, and how'd that come about, man? Did they hit you on Twitter? Did they go through a recruiting coordinator? Did they see you at a camp? Did they come to your school? How did Akron come calling first?
So based off of my sophomore film, I never went up there to camp or anything, and I never met any of the coaches. Just one of the recruiting guys, he hit me, and he said he wanted to hop on the phone with me. So I called him, and then they said they liked my film and wanted to offer me a full ride scholarship, and then. That's just a feeling that I'll never have again. Getting that first phone call, it was something special.
Life changer.
Yeah, for sure.
Because at that point you realize, what, this football thing's real. My parents no longer have to worry about paying for college.
Exactly.
That's a blessing, right? So Akron comes calling, and then was it a domino effect or was it slow rolling? How was the rest of your process?
It was still slow rolling. It was still slow rolling from there. I got Lehigh, I believe, after that, and then a few other smaller schools. They were looking at me just based off of my film, and then going into this last camp season, I was able to go up to Navy, and I was able to go up to Army for my unofficial visits, and then those were my best 2 options at the time. Being able to play that football and then being able to get that education and be set up for life after. Those were definitely my best 2 choices. So I went to the visits there. And then after my Navy visit, I felt like that was the place that I could call home. and I went ahead and locked that in before the season.
Okay. And then season
Yep.
happens, right? How
Season
did your
happened.
recruiting change once the season happened?
So my first game was a pretty decent game, and my second game, my first 5 games, I feel like that was all the film that got sent to the coaches, and all the coaches. That's whenever they started reaching out, and I went to an unofficial visit to Virginia against Illinois earlier in the season, and I got a preferred walk on whenever I went up there. I played another game. I got 2 picks in that game. Had a few big hits, and then they called me back and they said, "Man, we want to go ahead and give you this full ride
they,
scholarship, no more for a walk
they
on."
said pump the brakes, right? Look,
Yep,
we were
yep,
kidding on the PWO. We were just filling you out to see
gotcha.
what your
Yep,
interest was.
yep,
We want to
for
bless you
sure.
with a full ride. That's cool, man. I like to hear that.
Hmm. Yep, and then I also got UNCC this season, Tulane, Maryland, Boston College. Yeah, those are all the offers that I got just from this year and seeing my senior year film.
So with that, it then led you to the opportunity to really sit back and kind of ponder what your future looks like. And at that
Yeah,
point, you decided, Navy wasn't best suited for what your future goals were. I'm
yeah,
assuming based on you
yeah,
decommitting, right? So we
yeah.
decommit from Navy, right? And I think you went about it the right way. I don't think you burned any
Hmm.
bridges and was disrespectful in any manner. I think you did it the right way, for reasons of your own in your
Hmm.
future. And we've narrowed it down to UVA, great program, in Maryland, right? So
Hmm.
two great programs. Why those two programs? What are you going to look for when narrowing it down to making your choice, man? What are you looking for in these two programs now that they want you? Now, what are you going to look for you to
Hmm.
want them?
So a few things that I'm looking in the school is somewhere where I can potentially make an impact early. I want to be able to be that guy that can step in and fill a role. I also want to go somewhere where I feel like it's a good family like program and somebody that's on the rise, on being one of the top programs in their conference. And I feel like
Okay.
UVA and Maryland are both on the rise.
Look, both programs are building something special, man. UVA, I think they're looking their best that they have in quite some years.
Yep.
And then obviously, the coaching staff, the culture change that happened at Maryland, I think they're
Hmm.
doing something crazy special in Maryland. So,
Yep.
for me, I don't think you can go wrong either way. And
Yeah.
I'm
That's one of the
curious
things.
as to when the time comes where you're going to call home, man. And I'm excited to find out. But once you decide, right? Have you figured
Hmm.
out what you plan to major in outside of football? Like what are you going to go to
So
school to learn
I'm thinking
about?
about a few different things. I was thinking pre-law, becoming a lawyer, studying criminal law, or just going to the business route because there's a whole bunch of job opportunities from that.
And both programs have great
Mhm.
business,
Yep.
opportunities. I know firsthand UVA is a great, law program. My sister-in-law,
Mhm.
she got her degree. I want to say master's. I could be wrong, but nonetheless, she's a lawyer here in Virginia, graduate of UVA. So that's super cool. You can't go
Hmm.
wrong either way you go. But let's do
Yep.
this, man. We could talk football all day. I've been doing it all night. It feels like. Let's
Yep.
stop talking football, man. Let's talk about you. Let's learn a little bit about who you are outside of the game. You're still a young man, 16, 17 years old, maybe 18 at this point, still becoming a young man. So, what do you like
Hmm.
to do? What are you involved with? And if you tell me you're family oriented, you're laid back, and you're humble, I'm going to respect that, but then I'm going to peel back the onion because, let's get a snapshot of who you are and what you like to do, man. You're
Gotcha.
still a kid.
Yep, for sure. So I got 3 younger sisters, so that's a
You
problem.
said
That's big.
younger or older?
Yeah, three younger sisters, nine,
Younger. See,
4,
I
and
got three
2. So
older.
yeah, keeping up with them, that's something crazy. Um, but outside of football, I don't really get into too much. I usually just be chilling, playing the game. Sometimes just kicking back and relaxing with friends. But I really don't try to get into too much.
Okay. So let's do this, man. I told you I'm gonna peel back the onion. So when we're kicking it with our friends, what do we like to do? Are we going to the mall? Are we shopping? We doing what teenage boys do, right? And we're checking
Yep.
out the ladies and doing that. Or
Yep.
are you a sneakerhead, right? Are you somebody who's gonna catch me off guard and tell me you listen to Beethoven before game night? I had that
Nah,
happen the other
definitely
night.
not
Caught
that.
me off guard. right? Like, so what do you and the boys do? What do y'all like to do?
Uh, we really don't get into too much besides me busting their heads in 2K and Madden. Whenever they want smoke, they can get it. They know
Okay.
sometimes I can get a little bit of money out of them.
All right. So hold on. So on the video game side, Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation, definitely not
PS4 or
the Xbox.
PS5?
PS4, PS4. I
PS4.
played the PS5. Some of my friends got the PS5, so
So let
I
me
can hop
plug
on.
this, man. Tonight is the last night of the PlayStation 5 raffle for the Foundation. I am giving away a PlayStation 5
Okay.
tomorrow. PlayStation 5 giveaway is happening tomorrow. Raffle tickets are as little as $1. Little as $1 a raffle ticket. You can own a PlayStation 5 and you can be
I'm,
supporting
I'm gonna have to
39
get in
Hearts,
on
which
that.
is a great cause. So if you're not familiar with what 39 Hearts is and what the foundation does, I'll give you the 2-second rundown, man. The mantra is every strong athlete needs a strong heart, and we want to raise,
Mm,
heart awareness for heart disease within student athletes, man. That's the goal. That's the mission. So I had to plug that in because you mentioned video games. Tonight's the last night of the
okay.
raffle, so make sure you grab those tickets. For anybody that's out there watching, share it with your friends. It's all over social media. It's in the description below. Anywho, back to you, man. Let's learn about you. What else we like to do?
Um, Let me think.
So let me do this. I'll hit you with some rapid fire. How about that?
All right, bet. Sounds good.
Favorite pair of shoes?
Let's see if I'm gonna just chill for the day, probably some Vapor Maxes. But if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna step. I gotta throw on some Jordans. My favorites, probably the Jordan 11s, the
Okay.
12s, and then the fours. I like the fours.
So the 11s are great, but the playoff
Hmm.
12s are my go-to. The
Oh
playoff
yeah.
12s,
Oh yeah.
man. Look, I got to
You
watch
go
that
hard.
game in '96 when he had like a 103 fever or whatever it was,
Hmm.
and
Flu game.
still made the game-winning shot in the finals. And
That's
because of
why he's the
that,
greatest of all time.
I had to grab those shoes. Had to grab
Yeah.
them. And since then, I think I've owned them like 3 times because they keep getting re-released. It feels like all the time now.
Mm.
They're not as special as they used to be, but they're still my go-to. So
Yeah,
those
for
are
sure.
the shoes, right? So what's your favorite movie?
Moana.
More. Oh, how far will you
Yeah.
go? Right? With Maui the demigod.
I think it's to me. I definitely. Uh-oh.
I think we got some. Oh, nope, you're back. You're good to go.
I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. So look, I was just giving you some slack, man. Moana, right? We got Maui the
Yeah.
demigod, right? How far will you go? Look, I
Yeah.
love that. I love it. I got Disney Plus, man. I got a 7-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
We seen that in the theater. So very cool.
Yeah.
What's the go-to track when it's Friday night and you're about to go to war with your brothers? What's in your ears getting you hyped?
Man, I switch it up. I switch it up all the time. But will tell you one go to that I've always been doing since I was young, and I always used to watch the Tavon Austin his highlight tape.
Oh,
The only one, yeah, the Tavon Austin.
okay.
That's probably the best highlight tape ever made. That's definitely the pump up.
So look, I told you, man. I'm not surprised by much. I learn something new every single night. I
Hmm.
like it. I like it. So let me do this, man. Let me hand you the floor one last time. I want you to
All right.
thank and give love to anybody that's been there for you, man. Like I said, in the spirit of Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
right? Show love and support to anybody and everybody that's been in your support group since day one. That's helped you along your path, helped you along your journey. Teachers, classmates, friends, family, whoever it is, and shout them out by name, man, because it's important that they know who they are. Go ahead.
For sure. I want to thank my mom and dad first for being with me. Throughout the whole recruiting process, them just being by my side, that's really helped me out because it can get stressful being recruited by different schools and then just making that final decision that changes your life. After that, that's something that you got to have somebody in your corner for. I want to thank Coach Chach because he's not just a coach to me; he's also a mentor. And then all the guys on the team, I want to thank them because me and the transfer my junior year going there, just being able to hit the ball running with those guys, I feel like it didn't really skip a beat.
Good deal, man. So look, shout out to everybody in your support group. I don't know what's up with my camera. It keeps going in and out. It's probably telling me go on holiday. But nonetheless, man, I'm gonna shout out whoever did that tape work in on the paint job in the background, because that's dope.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I like
That
that.
that took a little minute too.
I was gonna say that's labor of love right there, because them lines are precise.
Appreciate it.
But anyway,
Yeah,
I'm
it
gonna
took
close
it
this
took a
out.
while.
I'm sure it did, man. And I like the color scheme, obviously, right? So I'm gonna close it out with
Hmm.
the same
Yeah.
question I do every single time, and that question is, what motivates and what drives you to want to wake up tomorrow and be that much more successful than you were today?
Just my parents, they really drive me, seeing everything they did for me, all the sacrifices they made for me, just me being able to have them not pay for college, me being a go play college football, being one of my dreams since I was like 6 years old, and then hopefully making it to the league, being able to buy them anything. That's just something that motivates me every day.
I love it, man. So look, if you caught a piece of anything that me and Coach Glover talked about last episode, right before you, man, he spoke
Hmm.
volumes into exactly what your motivation was, man. So keep that hunger inside of you. Stay focused, stay driven. More importantly, stay safe, stay healthy, man. Best of luck to you.
Yes.
Open invite. When you're ready to commit, I got a platform for you. If you want to use it, we can make this thing special. But until then, man, happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving. Shout out to everybody that stuck with me since 7 o'clock tonight. Even my camera is going in and out because it's tired. But I'm gonna close it out with 39 hearts and the reason why I do what I do, man. Again, I appreciate you. Till next time, I'm Rob Bodie, Spotlight 39.